Jibek Jolu is the only Kyrgyz restaurant in Chicago so far. Kyrgyz food reflects a mixture of different cuisines. So we have a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Turkey, a little bit of Afghanistani, Indian, Chinese. Our menu is rich on dumplings, on meat dishes, noodles, the pie dishes. In our little restaurant, we can offer different little cuisines at one stop, and I think that's the unique thing about us. It is a family-run restaurant. The main chef would be my mother-in-law, who we take all her recipes and use them here. The most rewarding thing owning a restaurant is having a happy customers, satisfied, who leave from here full and happy.
So Ed, you tell us that Jibek Jolu is a gem. Tell us why you chose it.
You know, it is the first and only Kyrgyzstani restaurant in Chicago. And I realize that Chicago has these great chefs and great gourmet restaurants. But Chicago is a city that's been built from immigrants. And, you know, it always will be. And so each wave of immigrants that comes in brings with it, you know, the sights, the sounds, the flavors of their country. And so Jibek Jolu from Kyrgyzstan does exactly that.
Now, how would you describe Kyrgyzstani food?
It's a mixture of a bunch of different things. Kyrgyzstan was in the Soviet Union for many decades, so definitely it has an influence from Russia. It also has an influence from India, from Persia, and from also the Mongol Empire. And so actually one of the dishes is like the great granddaddy of ravioli that was brought to Italy by the Italian traders back in the 14th century.
So this is like around the Silk Road.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Jibek Jolu means, Silk Road.
There you go. How did you discover this place?
You know what? I'm always on the hunt for new types of restaurants. And so I'm scouring the internet, I'm scouring newspapers, always looking for some new restaurant, some new type of ethnicity that I haven't tried before.
All right. So, Tristan, safe to say this was your first Kyrgyzstani experience?
Yes, it was.
How was it?
I did not have the same experience that Ed had, unfortunately. I guess my biggest disappointment was that they were out of 3 of the things that I tried to order.
Oh.
Is this common?
No, it hasn't been when I've been
Okay.
there.
You know, so that's disappointing. So then I feel like, honestly, I ordered a cop-out meal. I ordered the plav, which is rice and lamb, but I don't think it was lamb. I think it was beef. And that was just disappointing because I really wanted to try some of the other things that they didn't have. And, you know, I don't feel like I got a taste of what that restaurant could offer.
I'm going to have to take you back there.
Elliot, how was your experience?
It's not my cup of tea. I don't think the type of food that I got. But what I did appreciate was it felt real authentic.
Right.
It felt like they were real enthusiastic, cared a lot about their foods, and real friendly server. I was reading the back of the menu, and I learned a little about the history of that cuisine, of Kyrgyzstani cuisine. And there's a nomadic people. So they travel around. They don't have time to set up shop and have agriculture. So there aren't many vegetables or fruits or anything. It's a lot of meat-heavy dishes. You know, you're walking under the sun all day. You want a big, hearty meal at the end of the day. So mine was a bunch of noodles, and on top was little pieces of lamb.
See, that's the one I wanted. Was that and they were out of
Say
that
it again.
one.
I wouldn't
love the way
recommend
you
it. That's
said
what it's. And the reason I got that is because it said on the dish that was the most popular Kyrgyzstani dish. So I figured, all right, give it a shot. Wasn't to my liking.
For appetizers, they have something called samsa, which is like the Indian samosa. So it's meat and vegetables. This place is not a vegan restaurant whatsoever, a vegetarian restaurant. So it's meat and vegetables baked in a pastry shell, topped with roasted black sesame seeds, which I thought was out of this world. And then I had the manti, which is that ravioli type of thing, which again has meat in it, pieces of pumpkin and other vegetables, and steamed and then topped with sour cream.
It's also,
delicious.
it's a dish that shows up in Afghani food as well as Nepalese cuisine as well.
I had the manti too. And it has this dipping sauce, this real yogurty and garlicky.
Like tzatziki, almost like
like tzatziki. It was very fresh ingredients, and I just don't like that flavor, but I tried it. But it was for what it was. It was very good. And also the beet soup, which I got the borscht.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Minus the tea.
Fantastic. My favorite thing is the borscht, minus the tea. just borscht.
Just borscht, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ed, when you go here, do you have like somebody at the restaurant that guides you?
No, not at
Or
all.
Is it sort of a self-guided tour?
I feel that the menu itself is a self-guided tour because underneath each name, it doesn't give the pronunciation, but underneath each name is a description of what the dish is. So I think that's good enough. They're limited with English, which I think is part of the charm. Makes me feel all the more that I'm in some other country.
Hey, you know what, Ed? I agree with you on that. Like, I do think it makes you feel like you're in another place. I guess where my issue was with that is that when they're out of things that you're trying to order,
Right.
it's hard for that. Like, I kept asking, like, okay, what would you order? And he kept reading the menu to me. I'm like, well, I can read.
Actually, to your point about the not speaking English that well, I accidentally ordered something because I was trying to figure out what their drink was. It said Aryan.
Oh, yeah,
So I
yeah.
said, what is Aryan? And then suddenly the waiter walked away, and he came back with a huge glass of some sort of yogurt.
Right. It's like lassi that Indians the
Lassi, okay.
Pakistanis have. Yeah.
Yeah. So that but not my cup of Aryan. But otherwise, it was,
All right, Ed, you recommended Jibek Jolu. Sum it up for us.
Great food, very, very reasonable prices. Your tongue will be very happy.
All right, Elliot.
I would say it's the best and worst Kyrgyzstani food I'd ever have, and I would recommend it to my adventurous friends that want to experience a new cultural cuisine.
All right, and Tristan.
I would say that if you're on the north side and you're looking for meat and potatoes, that's definitely a place to go.
All right. Well, you can try the Kyrgyzstani cuisine for yourself at Jibek Jolu Central Asian Restaurant, 5047 North Lincoln Avenue, 773-878-8494. They're open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person is $25.